Good evening. Welcome to Neighborhood News. I'm John Sylvia here with Carlos. It's another Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday again, 7 o'clock at night. Channel 95, we're back with one more show of the Neighborhood News. Again, I would like to let you know that if you're watching our show and it's not a Tuesday, it's because you're watching a repeat. Look for a new show next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And for the Portuguese community, sejam bem-vindos a mais programa das suas notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje nós estamos de volta. Não se esqueçam que todas as terças-feiras, às 7 da noite, aqui no canal 95, pode ver e escutar notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje nós vamos ter convidados novamente, como acontece todas as semanas, e há mais de 2 anos que nós fazemos este programa, nunca tivemos aqui artistas. Hoje vamos ter artistas e produtores de um filme que está a ser feito aqui em Fall River, com muita gente local, portanto é com quem nós vamos falar hoje. Fique conosco. John, and we're doing the show for over 2 years now. We have all kinds of guests, but never actors and producers. So this is it.
Yep, nice. Cool. It's going to be cool. So we have guests tonight are from the movie Silence, and they are Cesar, Carlin, Nelson, Chris, and Anna. He's already into character.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to them tonight about the movie that was.
Yes. The first time that I heard about the movie was I was watching the news, the Commonwealth, on Channel 18, and I saw this scene being filmed from this movie at Kennedy Park, and it was interesting because on that same week I got a call from Nelson, and they were interested in using our school for one of the scenes, and I, like always, that's the reason we purchased the building, was to this kind of help and community service. So that's why I heard from them, and I met Nelson. And you know, I got very impressive with his work and the crew that he works with. And on the next show next week, you're going to know why I'm so impressed, because he had time to do something for our event that's going to happen for Halloween.
Oh, cool.
But we will talk about that next week. This week, let's talk about Silence.
Well, let me ask you a question before we go to these guys. So what clip was filmed at your school?
I think they can go over that. But what I was told was that they need a scene of kind of a hospital. And the building was the perfect building to film that scene, and that's it. That happened, and they spent the whole last Monday filming, and believe me, just looking through the window, looked like a hospital.
So not an insane asylum, right?
No.
So nothing on
a good hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, Nelson, I think it's the brain of all this movie. So
let's see if we could get these guys on camera now.
Sure.
Because there you go, and I did introduce them, but I noticed it was on us. So I'm going to do this again. Cesar, Carlin, Nelson, Chris, who's on the phone, and Anna.
So Nelson,
no problem getting out of character.
Oh yeah.
That kind of.
And we will talk about that. We'll talk about that. Nelson, I know that you had. This is now your first time on this kind of project. That you had some kind of experience. So tell us a little bit about you.
Pretty much, I got started on the production industry about 10 years ago. I got invited to be a cameraman for Seek International, so I kind of took that job and I did pretty much covered, hundreds of Portuguese events around New England. And it was just a love for being behind the camera and what you can tell within a lens that got me through the stages of going through being cameraman and trying to tell a story with that. I moved along into the music video world, being a little bit more creative. And then kind of just like fell on my lap being into the film industry world. And that's where I kind of found my home. It's like, this is, if I want to tell a story like the way I think that I should tell a story, it has to be through film, through the process of not just the visual, but through every single song and every single image. Making music videos, you kind of got to go along to what already an artist has built. So you got to give that vision of, in that visual of that music soundtrack. And it just took it from there.
And I know he's very interesting in this. The script
Yes.
was done by you.
Yes.
Was a story. It's a true story. Can you tell us a little bit about
Sure.
the story behind the movie?
Sure. The script was pretty much, this was before I got into the industry, into the production industry itself. I was a carpenter. I did carpentry work for the union for 10 years. And one time riding to Boston, because we used to wake up early, it was like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. We're going like all the way through like Bridgewater, and we were already almost in that half line in between home and work. And all of a sudden, like, this guy just wakes up out of his deep sleep and he pats himself down. He's like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone? I need my phone." Like, dude, forget about it. It's just a phone. And he's like, "No, you don't understand. We need to go back." Like, we were already there. By the time we were going to go back to Fall River, we were pretty much going to be late. And so that's how we started. I grabbed that idea, and what actually happened was that he was having an affair. I'm not going to mention your name. But he was having an affair, and we needed to go back to Fall River to get the phone. That day, we all got late. We all got, almost a big yell at the job because of that. It was 5 dudes that got late, and at the time, I was like, damn, I got to just take this and try to write something with this. And then I just took in consideration and started looking around me, what people are doing on their phones, and one thing led to another, start writing piece by piece. And then the story kind of like,
That's good.
formed itself.
Well, what's funny is you say that. I commuted to Boston for about 10 years. So everybody wants their phone. I read a lot, but I would have my phone at times, and it's kind of like when you're driving up there, if you have no phone, no book, you're kind of like this for an hour and a half. So most people were like that. I wouldn't have asked to go back. I would have said, I'll get it tomorrow. But I understand how people get with that, especially on that commute, wanting to see something. So, but that's funny to see how I wouldn't have thought that guy, was having an affair. I would have just thought he wants to look at his internet or something to do for the next 3
Spend
hours.
his day. How
Yeah.
he's going to spend his day without a phone.
Instead
But
of just
that too.
standing there.
He wanted to do that too.
I think if we move, and I know that she's kind of your right arm and left arm, so backbone, you call them all of that stuff. And I know that you have a lot of experience on this field too. So tell us a little bit to your experience, and then how silence came to your life.
Well, I have a background in production that's from way, way back, like 15, 20 years ago when I lived in Atlanta. I was working the production field, but then I gave it up and did something else entirely, move up to Cape Cod. And then for some reason, this industry here, the indie film industry, the short film, the music video is really, really happening. And I was like, well, maybe I need to go back to this because, and my husband always said that it was my calling because he's like, when you do that, you always have a smile. You come home from 16 hours, you're smiling. You leave 6 hours later, you're smiling. So I was like, okay, so I'll be doing that. And then how I met Nelson was about, let's say 2 years ago, a year and a half maybe ago, on another project. Was doing some voice work with him in his studio, and he had just seen something I think that I had produced that he was impressed with, and we got talking, and I mentioned something about a movie that I had heard of that, you know, I wasn't sure what was happening with it, and I didn't even know he was the writer. I'm talking to him about silence, and he opens a drawer, pulls out the script, and puts it on my lap, and I was like, why would you have the script? And he's like, because I wrote it. And I was like, what? And then asked me to read it right there and then, which I did. And then before I left, we talked, and he asked me if I wanted to come on board as a producer. And I'm really glad I did.
Very good. Very good. And I know you guys going to have a lot of success with this. By what I saw and the way you guys are professionals on this, I have no doubts that it's going to be a great success. Cesar.
Yes, sir. Not last name.
I'm not going to tell you. I know. I'm not going to tell you. The best thing you have, it's the name.
The name? I couldn't agree more.
But on the same field, too, I know you had some experience on this kind of things, and how. Tell us a little bit about you and how silence came to.
That's a long story.
We only have another 15 minutes.
Well, I started acting at 11 years old in Portugal, community theater, and then I came to the United States at the age of 20, and I kept it going, community theater, and 4.5, 5 years ago, I decided to become an actor, like a movie actor, TV, anything, and I started pursuing it, and I've been doing a lot of short film work. I've done a few feature films, a few commercials, and then one day I met Nelson because I needed to do some tape auditions to send to LA, and I wanted to look professional. And I had met him at a Portuguese gathering, so I thought of him, and I'm like, okay. So I called him. I told him what I needed, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to charge you for an hour of work. You know, would you come in?" And so we started a bonding there. Like one hand washes another, right? So he's helping me out. I'm going to help him out, and if he needs help. And then one day we were just talking, talking in his studio, and he goes, "I always wanted to do a film in Portuguese." And I'm like, "And what's the problem?" He's like, "Writing." I'm like, "I can write. You tell me what you want, I'll write in Portuguese." And we did a short film in Portuguese. And then that's how we all started. And then we mentioned silence, and I was like, "Yeah, this is good. This is really good." And we've been together since. And then Carlin came along and just blew it up. She plays my wife in the movie. I played Frank in the movie. She plays my wife in the movie. So she's producing, she's doing all kinds of stuff, and she's still acting in it.
And who says Fall River's not good?
No, that's right. You guys are all from Fall River or the surrounding area, right? Okay, cool.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Very good.
Well, we can ask Anna, because Chris is still on his phone. We can ask Anna.
I can answer questions. Don't worry about it.
Hey, guy, come on, guy.
Keep talking to me.
So how did you start out, Anna, with this? Is this your first, I guess,
Experience
kind of
or-
thing, or experience? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I've been doing a lot of film around here. I mean, like they've said, like there's some really interesting stuff going on here, and I think what's really neat about the indie market is people do some really interesting things, and they can really experiment and explore some really like interesting topics and everything. And so, yeah, I was really excited to be involved, and Chris is demonstrating the dynamic between our husband-wife team in the film that leads to our downfall.
We're a nice family.
At the beginning of the film.
So just so, and I'm not really familiar with the term indie, just so people know, what is that exactly?
Yeah, it's
and anybody can answer it. You know.
independent films. And,
Okay,
yeah.
that's, all right, see, it sounds something fancier or something like that.
No,
We try to
indie
make
stands
it
for
sound
independent,
fancy.
so.
Okay, all right, okay.
And I think for the main actor, we need to ask him the script,
Yeah.
how much he knows from the script, and what's the movie about,
Yeah. Well, he's probably gonna do that through story,
or whatever.
As well as the script was written, I don't know how many of the lines come out of my mouth correctly. So I kind of, fortunately Nelson's kind enough to let me go on tangent and sometimes bring my own words into the picture. It's been great working with Nelson, with the rest of the cast and crew.
You're really not going to look at them. You're really not.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Nelson, was he the guy that was on that van with you, or that truck? Is Chris the one that kind of woke
This
up?
is a real life.
Because he's like addicted to that phone, so.
Let's not get him in trouble. No, it was not him.
See, we still filming, we still got another 3 days of filming, all the way up until we call the shot, so he's still in character, so.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about the movie, what the story is about? I mean, I don't want you to reveal it, but just give us an idea what's the movie about.
Yeah, so, it's geared towards understanding social media and the patterns that we see in the world today. 10, 15 years ago is when texting even first came into being. And now, everyone's on their phone all the time. It really takes away from the family dynamic and just staying connected with your family, with your friends. And, some people beg to differ and say, I'm able to stay in touch with friends that I haven't talked to in 10 years, and it's great for that purpose. I am fully 100% agree with that. But it takes away from the day-to-day, life that you have with your close ones.
It's virtual relationship versus real relationship.
Yeah.
And you have to draw the line where, do I want to keep just being connected via Facebook and texting and all that versus being in the moment at home with wife, kids.
So,
Yeah, so it's a disconnect from the world, but, you're just completely connected to, your social media, your technologies, and, nowadays kids can find apps at 3 months old. They just swipe through a phone. It's crazy. My niece, she picks her favorite app every time. And it also takes away from kids going out and being active, playing with their friends outside because they're always playing video games on their phones or the computer or whatever it is. So.
I'm going to ask them to. I stole a minute of for a clip, and I'm going to ask the control room if you could roll that minute behind the scenes, I believe.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Cesar. That was Michelle. She's our makeup artist as well. That Cesar was pretending to shoot.
I'm glad there's more because I was going to say, really?
Nelson's burying her.
Yep, I'm burying a dead body over there.
I hope I'm not eating again.
There's my bag.
I think I can see whoever's working hard over there. The guy was supposed to be sitting in the chair.
We're doing makeup. We're doing makeup.
We're getting ready.
I was getting makeup put on my face.
I know how you're feeling, Nelson, because I do a lot of projects too.
Yeah.
We're missing the best minute in there because at one point he took off his shirt and jumped in the water.
Oh, really?
It just,
Hey, do we got shipyard? Yes! Okay. Hey, make sure you don't drink the beer.
Hey, don't drink it.
Yes, perfect. Add on to that.
Did he went on the water with the phone?
I did not go in the phone. I was in the water with the phone.
No, right. Yes, I love Johnny Depp. But no, you're not supposed to do a remake of a classic. Yeah, like Final Destination. Like, no.
I know, but I'm not sure.
There's Anna. Sexy girl. I like the red bow on the side. So from the skirt.
And very, very nice. Nelson,
Little highline.
I know besides the actors and the support, you have to have a big support group staff. And I saw that for that small scene that you shoot at the school, that took probably 2 days of work even before the camera start rolling. So if that had to happen for every scene that you're going to shoot, that list goes on and on and on and on and on. And all that it's possible because of that people too. Not just the ones, the actors in front of the camera, but the ones that make the scene happen for the actors. How many people you think are involved on this movie so far?
I want to say, I mean, in between everybody,
Yes.
everybody, I want to say about 200 people at least. In between the city, the cities, the private places that we've been shooting, the restaurants, extras, and every crew,
Sponsors and
sponsors. I mean, we're
location
talking
like yourself.
Location like yourself. At least 200 to 300 people.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but costly.
Yes.
How much you think you estimate a production this big?
Silence, it's estimated at 100,000.
100,000.
Yes. So, I mean, we're fortunate enough that we got the investors to back that up. But also was with a lot of free help. Because if not, this number will actually double. It's very costly. Film is definitely one of those business that it's very costly. Every minute counts. Every person that it's on that side is accounted for. So it's it's just one of those things that it's not everybody sees a film, a play, but in order to put that film and that play together, it's a lot of heads, and with a lot of heads comes a lot of money.
A lot of hard work.
And a lot of
Yes, yes.
I have to say also, I just want to add that the city of Fall River has given us a tremendous amount of support. I mean, people like yourself opening, the doors for us at that fantastic location. Frank Durfee from the Y opening the doors for us to shoot there for 2-3 days. Adagio, so many different locations and businesses willing to just, yes, come on in, and what do you need, when do you need it, makes our job easier, and also, to do it, without expecting money was really, really, the support has been amazing.
And like I say, and we mentioned this over and over again, a lot of things, Fall River welcomes a lot of things, and a lot of things happen in Fall River because of people are
Big hearts.
big hearts, that you don't see this kindness in other communities. But for open day, the first time you're going to show the movie, if you call all your crew in, 200 are sold out, right?
I thought
So I
about
guess
that
you need,
already.
before open day,
Private
you need a
screening
date just
first.
for you and for your people, because they're going to, you know,
Fill the place.
yeah, they're going to fill up the place.
The
but-
problem with that is that plans is that the very first premiere is going to be, we are planning to premiere in Portugal. Because one of the main reasons is the investors are from there.
So the budget just went up to
So
$200,000.
the budget just went
because
to
it's flying us all out.
flying everybody out. But we're gonna have the second premiere in Boston. So yeah.
And do you see anywhere there a good, another project done in Portugal?
To be honest with you, that is my ultimate goal. A lot
Yeah.
of people, they dream about Hollywood. They fantasize about, being a big, huge Hollywood star, director, this and that. My ultimate goal is actually to produce a feature film in Portugal, in the islands, with all that landscape, and just build a story around.
And
it.
I know the actors will love the island.
Making with me.
See,
You gotta have some fun for that.
that's it. Without his phone, he's lost.
So,
That's
John,
why we're
just wanted
doing
to
so
ask.
good on this one.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask, how long is the movie? An hour and a half?
An hour and a half. Yeah, it's estimated to be 90 minutes.
And so how long did that take? Because Carlos was talking, it takes each clip is a certain amount of time. Was it like a year you've been working on this, or 6 months, or?
In filming?
Yeah.
No, it's
Started
actually
July 4th.
we
Oh,
started in July 4th, but we took breaks
Oh.
because of schedule
And fireworks.
and
We
fireworks.
weren't able to hear the actors because the fireworks were going off on July 4th. Who would have?
Yeah.
Well, couldn't you have put that into the movie?
We tried. I was telling him, we gotta try to work this. No, not quite. The sound person.
Oh, boy.
Wasn't happy.
With 1 minute left, I really have to thank you guys, not just for the project that you're putting together that will show a lot of places, hiding places in Fall River will be on this movie. And again, doesn't matter where the movie is going to be showing, we will have our city stamp on it. Not just from the part of the actors and producer being in here, but it's another good thing happening in Fall River.
Yeah.
So
Great.
thank you guys for all the work you're doing, and keep up the good work. On that first show, don't forget me. I want to be there too. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And John, it's another week. We'll be back next Tuesday for.
Carlos,
you-
I just want to say something. The end of the movie is.
No!
Caesar wants to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
So see you guys next week at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Tuesday.
night.